After an exciting month full of featuring corporate diva leaders in the month of March 2023, we are excited to bring back to feature more corporate divas on the Guiding Voice podcast series. But this time it won't be sequential. However, CD tribe members have volunteered, have come forward to share their knowledge, wisdom, and insights with the world so that each one of us can get inspired. On that note, let me thank Deepika Trehan, the founder of Corporate Diva, once again for connecting us with these amazing women leaders. Rati Agarwal is currently working in Capgemini as a L&D product owner of Cloud and its brand ambassador. With over 14 years of progressive experience in e-learning, training and education management, she enjoys being into multitasking with the various roles of subject guide, author, advisory member, subject expert, and panelist in various programs and independent consultant with multiple organizations. She leverages a strong background in interacting with students as she started her career as a professor in an engineering college and later moved to corporate. Until date, she has addressed close to 35,000 students in around 65 engineering colleges across India as a guest speaker, and she is a renowned career counselor. She has authored books and presented various international research papers. So we are pleased to feature Rati Agarwal in today's episode and cover one of my interesting and exciting topics, transitioning from campus to corporate. This is the Guiding Voice podcast series, the Guiding Voice for a Better Future. Friends, I am your host Navin Samala, just a fellow professional on a mission to make the world a beautiful place and a better place to live. Through the Guiding Voice, we drive conversations that matter and conversations that add value to your life and to your career. Thank you so much for tuning in. And Rati, hearty welcome to the Guiding Voice, and I'm super thrilled to have you part of this episode.
Thanks a lot, Navi, for the introduction. And I am with you on your mission, and I just hope that we together make the world a better place. Looking forward for the conversation. Thank you.
Absolutely. Let's make the world a better place through our conversation. Because even if a few people can get inspired out of conversation, that is one step towards making this world a better place. All right, so let's get started, Rati. You come from a small town and rose in the corporate as a learning and development leader. So, in this whole process, what are the top three things, or you may call them as success mantra, which attributed to your success so far? Can you share with our audience?
Definitely. Thank you for this question, Naveen. So, yes, I hail from a very small city which is called Bareilly, which is in UP. And for me to reach where I am currently was not very easy or not very smooth as it is for many of us. There are a lot of things that we have to, hurdles which comes through your way when you are, ambitious and you want to just rise in the ladder. So, yes, but if I have to list three important things, then let me go. I mean, one is dealing with your own secure insecurities, because when you are from a small town, the big cities, the culture and the vibe is quite overwhelming at times. So I think when you are getting adjusted to these cultures and vibes, the other people are already focusing on your career. So I think, yes, that dealing with the insecurities and people having that opinion on you that you are from a small city, that is sometimes a problem. So you need to deal them well. Another thing is willingness to learn. I think I always call myself a perennial learner because I think learning never ends. So we should be open to learn, relearn, and unlearn with whatever baggage of information that we are coming in, with to the corporates. And the third most important thing is value time. So I think calendarizing each and everything, whatever you do, is the success mantra for, I should say, that I will not miss anything if I have calendarized not only the work actions, I would say, that, I have to send a mail or anything like that, but I do also calendarize things like, spending time with my daughter, making a phone call to my friend, putting a me time, or, just doing nothing, or maybe reading a book. So once you calendarize things, you are on the right path and you are utilizing your time well. So
I
yeah.
echo with you on the calendarizing part, especially because I also calendarize most of my things. Of course, not the personal time, but most of the official and all the extra side hustles that I do in terms of coaching people or reaching out to any engineering college, B school, or getting into this podcast recording over the weekends, all that stuff. Because once you formalize things, you are accountable and you'll not miss doing that thing. So I think that's a
Yeah.
great advice. And let's move ahead and talk about the core of today's topic, like transitioning from campus to corporate, right? So, what are the three things that students have to keep in their mind while transitioning from campus to corporate?
Yeah, I think in my interactions with multiple students, what I could, just summarize and tell you the three things that they need to keep in mind. One is you need to be fearless yet adaptive. When we are in a completely changed environment and we have to be prepared for changes, so that fear, you have to deal with it, but at the same time you have to adapt, you have to be adaptive because it's a new culture, so you also want to learn that culture, and those new processes. So yes, adaptive. Another thing is be ethical, and I'm very vocal about this thing. Do anything, or go anywhere, don't leave your ethics behind. Your culture and your ethics is something which will be with you, and if you just have them in your nerves going, you are doing good. And the third thing is be open to feedback. So sometimes that the atmosphere of the office and the corporate is sometimes feels make you overwhelmed with a lot of things. So I think yes, you should be very very open to feedback, in
Mhm.
in just listening to the feedback, what you want to apply and where you want to apply. For that, you need to keep your filters on. So
Yeah,
that smartness is, I think, very important. Yes,
yeah,
these are the three things I would say.
yeah. Wonderful. And
Mhm.
so this brings me to my next question. Let's say you are now wearing the hat of a L&D leader, and you will still interact with students that are transitioning from campus to corporate, right? So, what are
Mhm.
the top mistakes that students do during this transition?
Okay. So top mistakes is, when anyone leaves a college and enters a corporate, I think students are more focused upon it. They go and take opinions from their friends and family, and which is completely fine. But just don't follow the rat race because my cousin said this or my friend is going here, I want to follow her. I would say you have to understand what you want, and so that's very important. Another mistake that students do is they settle for less without knowing their self-worth. So I think that market research is very important. And third thing, which is very popular these days, is the dressing and all. The You have to understand the power of dressing. It's not just a fashion ploy, it's a power partner for you. So you have to understand your executive presence is very important when you are transitioning. So just don't get carried away with all that, we say, glamour of the corporate world. So yes, I would say this is something. And one thing I should not forget is cursing the college, which is very popular when we go and interact with the students. That, oh, this is only what happens in our college. It's not cool. That tells us about your attitude. When you are at a place and you are not appreciating the place and you're telling to somebody outsider, about your college, which is totally not cool. So yes,
And
these are
that gives
few
an
mistakes.
impression that tomorrow, if this person leaves this organization, he's going to do bad mouthing about this organization as well.
Same. Exactly. Exactly.
And one thing on the dressing part, I think you hit the right card over there. Essentially, we have to overdress rather than the underdress. Like when I
Exactly.
say underdress,
Mhm.
don't be too casual. No matter, even if the company is a startup or if it really allows you to come in casual wear, better to go in formal wear, because you never know, impressions are
Definitely.
made through anything, right from your first interaction, your
Mhm.
body language,
Mhm.
your dressing, everything plays a part in terms of
Everything.
creating that impression. Yeah, and let's move ahead and let's talk about this preparation for campus interviews. So, in your
Mhm.
opinion, Rati, what groundwork should these students do before appearing for campus interviews?
Mhm. So groundwork, there are a lot of blogs you will find online,
Mm,
market research, make your skills, go with a good resume, you will get everything. But out of all that, one thing that I have to mention is the art of storytelling for interviews, because there are randomly many questions, and the students, they get trapped, telling different stories. So whatever you do, you should know the art of storytelling. Everything should stitch together well. So, if you should sit with yourself, create a roadmap of your life, where, what, when happened. That should be super clear to you. So, I think that is very important, the art of storytelling, and that can be achieved only if you are being yourself. So, go with the right attitude, be yourself, know how to say what you want to say, the art of storytelling. I think that's the advice, for approaching any kind of campus interview I would give.
Wonderful. Now let's talk about your observations, okay, because you have interacted with several thousands of students across 65 colleges. So, what are some common trends or the observations during your interactions with the students?
I think students these days are super, smart, unlike us when we were back then, because
Yeah.
the information is flowing just all over. You get an interview, you Google it, you get a lot of information, so you don't have to run behind people to get information like we did in our times. So I think that's completely fine. I mean, students are doing these researches. It's completely fine. In my interaction, what I saw is there is your strength is your own self, your uniqueness. So once you understand that, everything will be cool.
Hmm.
So I think build your own brand. That is one thing which is very, very important. So students, they're very keen listeners when any industry experts goes to a college. I mean, I feel very overwhelmed when I go and meet them. So but it's very important that even if you are meeting with an expert, you have to create that impression on that person. I think we are under observation all the while whenever we are meeting anyone or not meeting or just spending time with ourselves. So you have to be, I don't say that be someone else, be your own self, but then just try and understand what is something that I like. So in my interaction with students, I have seen them, they're super smart these days. So they should keep on their, this high technology and everything. They're just super good and super smart, I would say. Unlike me, what I was back then. Yeah.
Yeah, this generation is hyper smart, I would say. And definitely
Hyper
their
smart.
confidence levels
Yes.
are also too high compared to what we were during our days, for sure. And now let's switch gears and
Mhm.
talk about your company aspect, in terms of you are now a brand ambassador for your company, right? So, what does it feel like being a brand ambassador, and is that a nominated post, or what is your responsibility as a brand ambassador, and how does it feel?
So being the brand ambassador of such a big organization, which has, more than 3 lakh employees, 3 lakh 60,000 employees, is not just a matter of, enjoy various goodies that I get, but, it's a matter of responsibility, because
Hmm.
what I'm speaking, where I'm speaking, there are a lot of social, responsibilities, social conduct. So we have to abide by all those ethics. And other than that, it's at a personal level, a girl from a small city like Bareilly, who is the brand ambassador of an MNC, it's an honor too.
Yeah.
So
Hmm.
yes, it was a self nomination process which happened, but then over this whole journey, it will be 7 years with Capgemini now. I know that I know, I mean, what does it mean for me, and it's a super good feeling,
Hmm.
for the small girl,
Yeah.
because that child never dies in you.
Yeah.
When you sit back, spend time with yourself, and you just meditate and think about the time from where to here.
Yeah.
I have came, so that is a good feeling.
Yeah. Congratulations, and also kudos to you on that achievement, because definitely these kind of things will be encouraging to all those girls from cute little small towns or tier 3, 4, 5 villages, right? Here is a perfect example. When Rati can do it, you all can do it, right? Wonderful. So this has been great conversation, Rati, and let's add some spice to the episode. So if you are ready, I'm going to kick off a quick rapid fire round.
Okay, bring it on.
All right, let me fire the first bullet. If you could have one gigantic billboard anywhere with anything on it, what would it say?
Learning never ends.
Learning never ends. Perfect for a L&D leader and who has been demonstrating that continuous learning. And with that, let me move to the next one. What is the worst thing about you?
I am too much a people's person.
Okay, and
It's
let's.
not. It's not very good to. Yeah.
Indeed, right. We have to know that how to balance that and way to draw that particular thing, because at times if you are
Yeah.
too much of
Line.
people, yeah, if you are too much of people person, we get into trouble of conveying difficult messages and taking some hard decisions. I can really figure it out. Okay, can you describe yourself in just one word?
Coach.
Okay, perfect. And what is the first thing that you notice when it comes to the opposite gender?
I would say body language. Something.
Body
Yeah.
language. Okay. And what is the best excuse? What is the best excuse for being late you have heard or used?
I think get betrayed by the new alarm app. That's all.
Did you say it, or did you heard someone saying it?
That I am not revealing. It's getting recorded. I heard it.
You heard it, okay. That's a fair statement. Okay, now moving to the
Yeah.
last one for rapid fire. So, Rati, what is one electronic gadget that you like to see or invent yourself?
If there is a locator for missing items, objects, that would be great.
I'll be the first consumer, by the way.
Me too. Because
So,
you can find your phone by find a phone on your laptop. You
yeah.
can find your laptop, or maybe through a watch you can find your phone. But how do you find your watch? Or through your keys you can find your car. But how do you find your keys then? So I want that locator.
No, good one. I think this is a fantastic idea. We might come across the solution very soon, given the IoT and 5G advancement happening. I'm sure somebody is already working on it, and at least we will see in our lifetime for sure. And I loved it. I loved the gadget. Okay, so after that fabulous rapid fire, let's flip back to the mainstream. And here comes my next one. What is one piece of advice to all the youngsters out there who are aspiring to make big in their careers?
So, I mean, for that, it's a serious one, I would say.
Mm, mm,
Our lives are so busy, no matter in whichever phase you are. My 4-year daughter, her life is very busy as well. But I always tell people, it's very important to spend time with your own self and maybe jot down or type what have you done in your life till now? What do you want to do? Those 90 minutes or say 1 hour or 2 hour, when you spend time with yourself, you realize, what you have enjoyed, what were the things that you didn't knew. So I think one very important advice is to know your own self, know yourself.
mm,
I think
mm,
if you know yourself, where you want, and once you know what you want, you will achieve it. So
mm,
knowing your own self is very very important, and you know that what got you here won't get you there.
yeah.
So that realization happens only when you just spend time with yourself. So that's
Mm,
one piece of advice, not for the aspiring students or people who are making big in their career, who want to make big in their career. I think that's the advice for everybody out there.
okay. Perfect. I think, yeah, what got you
It's like
here
an
won't get you there.
enlightenment
Hmm.
hour. It will be the
Hmm.
enlightenment hour for you. Just put everything on D&D mode and spend time with yourself.
Superb. And that's a profound and very powerful advice. And thank you for that. And with that, before I let you go, do you want to share any feedback on getting hosted on The Guiding Voice? How does it feel like? How is your experience?
Oh my God. First of all, an honor. Thank you so much for inviting here. Other than that, I would say it's very, very organized. And I love things which are very organized. My time was not killed. It's super, very nicely organized and amazing to talk to you, Naveen. And also, extra special because I think we share the same passions towards many things.
Right.
So yeah, I think thank you very much. It was good and amazing.
Pleasure to host you, Rati, and thank you so much for being part of my journey. Thanks for your time and all the wonderful insights that you have shared. Really appreciate it. All right. So, folks, that was our episode with Rati Agarwal, and she has shared some amazing insights on how to successfully transition from campus to corporate. And before we move into the trivia section, here is a request to you. Please subscribe to us if you haven't done already. Also, if you are listening to this episode on Spotify or Apple, request you to hit the follow button and, if possible, leave a rating or review so that we will be able to reach wider audience. Also, if you have loved this conversation and found the episode useful, please share with at least 3 of your friends or colleagues who can benefit from the guiding voice. Thanks in advance. Now let's hop into the trivia segment. So today we had amazing conversation with Rati, who shared beautiful insights related to how students can transition from campus to corporate. I thought I would present you a few interesting interview questions which you may not have come across so far. And here are the questions. Number one is, what have you read recently that has impacted or changed how you saw the world? And second one is, if you won the lottery, what would you do with the money? Third one, can you tell me 5 things you could do with a pencil other than writing? And describe 3 details that you didn't include in your resume. And here comes the next one. Who do you consider as a role model for how to live your life and why? And here comes the bonus one. How do you make a slice of a toast? So, folks, what else would you add to the list of these questions? I'm curious to know. Feel free to comment if you're watching it on YouTube, or else comment on social media platform wherever you have found this episode. That's all for today. Thank you so much for joining me. And do not forget to share your topic recommendations and guest speaker suggestions through social media, or email me at theguidingvoiceforyou@gmail.com. I'm your host, Navin Samala, just a fellow professional and a passionate learner on a mission to make the world a better place to live through conversations that matter and conversations that add value to your life and to your career. Until next time, bye bye. Signing off for now. See you all on the next episode with another amazing guest.